Shop Tour Bus is serving up the hottest, most delicious, freshest, and sweetest Grateful Dead inspired merchandise on the virtual lot. Yeah, it's delicious.
Okay.
When you look at it, it makes you feel full of happiness and joy. Therefore, it's delicious.
Does me. I'm sporting one right now.
You actually are. Scarlet Begonias.
Since it's the beginning of the year, I think it's important to just remind everybody just how important Shop Tour Bus is to us.
Okay, do that.
Well, Shop Tour Bus has been with us since almost the beginning.
Yes, they have.
All right. We have met them in our home state, and they've been on the porch, and we've hugged and played with their son and had great times. And they've supported us that whole time. And I just wanted to underscore that they're putting out amazing products, super unique. They're beautiful human beings, and they are true supporters of No Simple Road.
And go ahead, Apple.
Doesn't say so like Mel just laid down there. This is true family. This
Yes.
is keeping it in the family. And these are the most comfortable shirts. I love my assorted collection. I have many now. And anybody you get them for would love this too.
And they're making sure the No Simple Road family feels the love with the promo code No Simple Road. You're going to get free shipping. They're going to send you your shirt, hoodie, or sticker, or hat, or whatever in a beautifully printed all over bag. And you're going to get all kinds of extras. And hey, check this out. You might even get a Grateful Dead
Bootleg
in your order, a cassette tape that's been traded by the family for time immemorial. It may have been in the hands of a dusty wook. You don't even know. So go to shoptourbus.com, pick yourself out something, put in the promo code No Simple Road when you are checking out. You're going to get free shipping and make yourself smile. One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Oh, that's cool.
And third-party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com. One of our favorite sponsors is back.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
Aliens are in the mall. Eclipses. The whole thing this year.
What are eclipses?
Eclipses? I don't know, man.
It's like a mini eclipse.
Hey now, No Simple Road
No.
family. It's Aaron.
It's Mel.
And it's Apple.
And we are back
That's right.
for another edition of No Simple Road with our guest this week, Adam November.
Yeah.
Yeah. man.
Adam, it was amazing having you on. It was so fun. The only regret was Apple couldn't be there. We're not recording. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was another work. Enough said. Sorry I missed
Enough
you,
said.
Adam, but it was super dope getting to meet you for a little bit when we came to see you at the show here in Portland.
If you have had the opportunity to go catch the Karina Rykman's band and see Adam do his mystical wizardry on the guitar,
On the fly.
it's a sight to behold and a treat for your ear holes, man.
I was just reading Adam's bio, and it said musician and creative technologist. That's a wonderful way to sum up all the intricacies of what he does.
It's definitely aptly named.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the first time we saw him was at the Crystal Ballroom. They were opening for somebody.
Frasco?
Maybe. Sure.
Ew.
That.
I don't know if
Yeah,
that
don't
happened, but I
remember.
can't.
I can't remember who they were opening. I think you're
Okay.
right though. And of course, Karina's like
Electric.
a comet of
She
energy.
literally had those boots on. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, Karina's shoes are
boots.
so dope. Come on.
She's like, a dynamo of energy. And then Adam's over there like twisting dials and shredding the guitar. And these sounds are coming out of his guitar that like, I've never heard an instrument make those sounds before. And him and Karina have such a unique musical connection, watching the two of them do what they do. And like
Well, and Chris too back there.
Yeah,
like,
well,
he's
yeah,
keeping it like going,
Holding
making
down
it
the
a
back end.
playground
Yeah.
for them, you know?
but just watching the two of them like build these jams on the fly, and then he'll be shredding the guitar and then just casually, lean over to his wizard's cauldron
It's set up.
that's over there and like do
Mix
some
it up.
little finger twiddle, and the whole world explodes inside your head from whatever sound is happening. So yeah, if you get the opportunity to go check out Karina Rykman's band and see Adam play, you can write in afterwards and be like, yep, Aaron, you were absolutely right. It was an experience.
And guess what? You're in luck if you haven't seen her. Even if you have seen her, you're going to want to see the band again. And first of all, this is one of those bands that's like a trio. When there's a trio that a sound comes out of that sounds like there's 6 people on stage, always blows my mind. And they're getting ready to, like everybody, they're getting ready to head out on tour. If you go to KarinaRykman.com, you can see all of the dates upcoming. They've got dates starting January 27th, going through February, March, and then May. I'm sure there will be a lot more added. They're going to be touring all over the country. And if you want to know more about Adam November and see what he's up to and all the things he does, you can go to Instagram at Adam.November.
And he also
And
has a
there's-
website too.
Yeah, there's link on there. There's links to all of the things that he's up to.
And he is not just a guitar player, shredder in Karina Rykman's band.
It's a full-time job.
He has a full-time day job, man. And
Dang.
which going on a tour like that, I'm sure they're thrilled with Adam, but he's like a electrical engineer. Is that automations and robotics and computer programming and
yeah,
just like
all of it.
It doesn't.
I don't think there's anything that Adam couldn't create if he thought it up, or
He'd
if
be
somebody
like,
was like, "Hey, can you light
create
up
me a
this
robot?
Yeah,
that-
light up this bed, and
Yeah.
every time I, get too much pressure on it, it like wakes up my foot, or like
He's like,
oh, yeah.
I'm on it. Let me
And then
let me finish this guitar solo,
Yeah.
and I'll get right on that.
And talk about we talk a little bit about the ambitions of living in New York,
Yeah.
and that kind of energy. And so, yeah, this was a really fun interview, and it was his second podcast. So, Adam, I'm sure it will not be your last. People are going to want to know about you, man. People are going to want to see what's going on. You're creating some really incredible, unique, ultra fun stuff to listen to,
Mhm.
and also otherwise.
Yes, that
And also
and otherwise.
I can't encapsulate it in a few words. So
All right. Well,
yeah,
I
it was a
mean,
pleasure.
should we do the business?
Yeah, let's get them to
Yeah,
You know what?
get
I'm
the-
going to start differently this week.
What-
In case when
Yeah?
we get to this section of the show, you're like, oh, fuck, and you fast forward. Don't, because I'm going to do it different. And you may hear something you didn't hear before.
Ooh,
So,
I want to hear different stuff.
We have something on No Simple Road called the No Simple Road Tepid Line.
Yes.
The Tepid Line is your 3 minutes to shine on No Simple Road. The number to call is 971-808-1524. I'm going to say it again so you can write it down in your phone, take a note, do whatever you need to do. I'm riffing now so that you can get your phone out and get out your notes app and No Simple Road Tepid line. The number is 971-808-1524. Okay? And here's the deal. It's a Google Voice line, and you can call in and say anything you want. Now, historically, we've had some really amazing calls on the Tepid line, but there are two people that stand out head and shoulders above the rest, John B. and David.
And both of you are getting a standing ovation and a red balloon.
Yes. I don't have the red balloon. Hold on.
Well, just imagine it, John B.
Yeah.
You know, David, you guys can use your imagination that I'm presenting you with one cute little string, and it's a miniature red balloon that you can take on your day with you and know that you won it for being dope at calling into 971-808-1524 to tell us super cool updates. I feel like this is how we get to know David and John B.
Well,
we get to know their excitement and their temperament.
Hang on.
Also, there's nitrous in that balloon.
There is. But you know how when you were a kid, if your parent bought you a balloon, they tied, excuse me, I burped into the mic. I'm sorry, everybody. They tied it on your wrist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. David and John, I want you to tie the balloon that Mel just gave you onto your wrist and carry it with you all day. All right? Will you do that for me? Cool.
I know they will.
Anyway, this isn't just about John and David.
Right.
This is about everyone.
Everybody out there can call the Tepid line, 971-808-1524. And I'm going to give you an example of what a Tepid line phone call sounds like.
Hey, No Simple family, it's Dave. I just wanted to touch base with you. Been listening to some of the older episodes again.
That's so cool.
I had put that on the back burner for a little while. I didn't want to burn through all of those old episodes, so I have nothing left to listen to. I'm in the 50s, I think. I just listened to your 1 year episode at 52, and then 53 was Circles Around the Sun.
Ooh,
and
that's a good one.
I've heard you guys talk about Circles Around the Sun before a lot.
And you'll hear us talking about them again.
Really put forth the effort to listen to them.
You've heard them every week.
Listening to the conversation today, I decided it was time and put on a This Is playlist of them on Spotify, and damn if I'm not blown away.
Yeah.
Everything you guys say is true. It feels like a jam from a Dead show, but it also feels kind of like that 70s and 80s loungy type music.
Disco, baby.
Very relaxed, very chill, very inviting.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you want to dance and boogie and just chill and just have a good time. So thank you very much for sharing that. I'm going to listen to it more often, and I think that it will become the soundtrack for a lot of stuff that I do. So thank you. Love you guys.
Love you too, buddy.
Love the family out there, and I hope everybody in the No Simple Road family is having a spectacular day today. I hope everybody's feeling fabulous. I know it's cold and there's a lot of crappy weather around, but we will survive. We will get by. Love you guys.
Love you too,
Bye.
buddy. See? That's how you do it, Dave.
I was just going to say, David, thank you again for calling in. And think about this next time you're listening to Circles Around the Sun. Always makes me want to put on a pair of roller skates. It's like roller skating music.
Yeah, 70s roller skating disco music with the disco ball. And also, David, just so you know, a lot of it's going to sound really familiar to you, and you're going to be like, why does that sound so familiar? The reason it sounds so familiar is because every commercial that we play has Circles Around the Sun playing under it, just so you know. So I appreciate that you are getting into Circles Around the Sun, and the older stuff is Neil Casal, who is very near and dear to this family, and they are very special to us. So,
and this is why I love doing No Simple Road, is introducing that new soundtracks to people's lives, or introducing new music that you just had to hear, but you didn't know it yet because you hadn't heard about it.
And speaking of introducing new music, you can go to the No Simple Road website and sign up for our newsletter, or get yourself some merch, or get a tarot reading, or check out our calendar of events. I think the next thing we have coming up that's big for us is Mo at the Crystal Ballroom in a few weeks. That's going to be
fun.
And then Mel and I are off to Mexico next month, and a few Dark Star Orchestra in February here. So if you want to come to a show with us, go check that out. Like I said, you can get a tarot reading from Mel and I. You can go to patreon.com/No Simple Road and support us, like not just by listening, but with your financial support, which is crucial to this family. And the way that we give back to you there on Patreon is by creating a community and giving you extra content. You're getting all of the episodes a day early and ad-free. You're getting Apple's
cinematic adventures, weed reviews.
Just right there alone.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mel's pulling tarot cards for y'all.
Yep.
I'm
Andrew's picks.
Yeah.
Connor's picks.
There's all kinds of stuff going on over there. So you can go over there, patreon.com/No Simple Road. You can sign up for free, check out what's going on. And then when you're enticed enough, you can spend $1 a month. It's less than, it's 12.5 cents an episode. Come on, man. Really? Help us out. Just saying.
Yeah. And thanks for the cute dollar, Meg.
Yeah,
Meg.
That means a lot. It seriously does.
Hey, Apple, we got any new reviews?
No new review.
Yeah.
No.
Well, be the first reviewer of January out there.
Yeah, we didn't get one for December.
Somewhere.
And we're asking, please.
This is what I know. One of Adam's friends who's never listened to No Simple Road before is going to listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
And since they've never listened to No Simple Road, they've never left us a review.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Y'all never leaving us a review.
So be that one person that leaves us a January review, Mr. November's favorite friend.
Or Mrs. Or Miss.
Or anything. Anybody. However you tag yourself, you can be like, oh, I'm Jersey 27999, or, Mo Lover 222. I don't know.
Mo Lover 222. Okay.
I'm just saying, whatever you want to call yourself, it'd be super rad if after listening to this, you went on to Apple and been like, Apple Podcasts, hit the 5-star, leave a cute review, and be our first.
And
of
hey,
the year.
if you're going to do that, if you're going to be the first one for the year, could you leave the review in a deep South accent? That would be super cool.
That's how we'll read it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, do any kind of crazy recommendations.
I'd settle for a British Cockney accent.
Okay,
gosh.
One of those. Anyway, that's leaving a review. What that does is it helps other people find out about the show. But the most important thing you can do for us and yourself is to tell somebody about No Simple Road.
Yep.
Because then the mycelial network of No Simple Road spreads. The community grows. We all are together. It's a beautiful thing. And,
word of mouth.
And it's a rainbows and unicorns, and guys are shooting off, and the clouds part, and the sun comes out. It's a really cool thing that happens. So just see.
That's a whole lot of things.
Test it. I'm telling you. Tell somebody about the show. All right. Are we ready to get busy with Adam?
I think so. I think everybody is ready. They've been waiting, and the time has come.
Apple, are you excited to hear this episode?
Yes, I'm excited.
Time?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Mel, are you excited?
I'm excited because we've done several episodes since then, so I don't remember every single thing we talked about. So I'm ready to remember how much I loved the interview, because I remember after we were done, we were like, dude, he's so dope. Mm-hmm. He was so rad. So I want to remember that.
Darwin, are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody. The excitement builds, and here we are. We have reached the moment. Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Adam November.
You get up for work, the song's still ringing in my head. Hey, what up? How's it going?
You are one of the first guests on No Simple Road ever.
No, well, not one of them.
Ever.
Yeah.
To figure out that they were muted.
Nice. I mean, I'm honored. Had some background in audio and whatnot. So
I was gonna say you deserve to have that title.
What's up, Adam? How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well.
Aw.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting. It was nice to meet
exciting.
you while you were here.
This is my second podcast ever. I'm like very excited. Extremely excited.
Well, Adam, you do some really awesome stuff. I was just like reading your resume and just kind of scrolling through your Instagram, and you've got a really deep technology background. Let's start with that because I know. And well, first I will say, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody listening?
I was going to stop.
And then jump into that because I want to talk about that before we talk about music because I'm sure it influenced it somehow, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my name's Adam November. I play guitar in Karina Rykman's band. And as you know, you're alluding to, I play guitar with a lot of effects and electronics. And I have, a pretty deep background in music technology generally. And that kind of moved into wider creative technology and electronics and lighting art and all this other kind of stuff, installation art, etc. And so it's allowed me to build some of my own gear and experiment with sound and music and technology all in one, which Karina gives me an amazing space to do.
Yeah, you guys, the first time we saw you play was at the Crystal Ballroom.
Yeah, that was an awesome show too.
I was just like floored watching you play and watching what you do with whatever you have up there. I don't even know what that is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was a super fun show.
Yeah.
Wasn't it though? It was like, I felt like it was like such a showcase for like all the sound that the three of you can really get together. Like that is a lot of work. It seems like in how you're hearing it. You know what I mean?
It's a lot to stay on top of. It's all play for me, but it's definitely taken a lot of, experimentation and development of different skills and different knowledge to get to a place where I can do that stuff. Yeah.
And you and Karina really have something special together, man. It's
Thank you so much.
It's dope to watch the interplay.
I think so
between
too.
the two. Yeah. I'm curious, how did you guys meet, Adam?
We met at a party in 2015. I'm pretty sure December 2015. And at a party in my apartment building, and it was super, through friends of friends, super random. And we just started talking, and it was in my apartment building. And in my apartment at the time, I had a great music setup, drums, guitars, amps, the whole thing. And this was in Brooklyn, and where I still live now. And we were talking, and it was literally the day that Karina got the text from Marco Benevento saying, "Hey, come play in my band." Oh, wow. So we were talking about that, and I was like, what that's incredible.
Whoa,
what do you mean?
Yeah.
And Marco Benevento's band, what the fuck? Let's go jam in my apartment. Let's go. And so her and I and a couple of my other friends we started playing music, and we had a great time. And we kind of just kept in touch and would play spaced out periodically every few months for about a year or so. And then it started to happen more regularly, and the rest is kind of history.
Were you playing in your own band at that time, or like what were you doing musically?
I was playing guitar in a couple bands, mostly in a hip hop rock kind of crossover group called Oxymorons, who are still out touring and kicking ass right now. And I was touring with them a lot and recording with them, and some other projects locally, and going to some other jam sessions and stuff like that.
So is the style of music that you're creating with Karina, is that something that you've been into prior, or were you mostly in the hip hop world?
No, I definitely have some roots in the jam scene. I mean, I grew up a total classic rock head, Led Zeppelin and Neil Young and Jimi Hendrix and etc. And in high school, I was into some jam music. I was really into Dave Matthews Band for a while. They were my favorite band for a couple of years. So I saw them a bunch. And I was into other music that was kind of adjacent, maybe not as jammy, but I was really into Guster and Dispatch and bands like that. And then in college, I got really into Lettuce and Medeski, Martin and Wood and John Schofield and more funk fusion type stuff. So and then I've always loved hip hop a ton as well. So it was all always there.
We have a brand new sponsor in the No Simple Road family. We'd like to welcome Northbound Coffee Roasters. Northbound Coffee
Right on.
Roasters is a family-owned and operated coffee roastery out of the mystic mountains of Mount Shasta, California, with a combined 22 years of coffee experience and over 600 shows between Keith and Jen. They pursue
It's a lot of boogieing.
Yeah, I'm talking old school Grateful Dead shows here. They pursue top quality coffee to provide to their customers. Northbound Coffee Roaster specializes in specialty organic coffees with a wide variety of coffee profiles, blends, and single origin offerings to match the taste of anybody who enjoys a good cup of coffee, man. So go to northboundcoffee.com to learn more and place your order today. They ship anywhere in the U.S., and their coffees are always roasted to order to guarantee the freshest cup. Use the code NOSimpleRoad at checkout for free shipping on your first order of any size, anywhere in the U.S. Sign up for their newsletter for additional discounts. Their newsletter is written by their son and offers regular discounts and a peek behind the curtain at their roastery.
Ooh.
You want to taste some of the freshest coffee ever roasted by deadheads ever on the whole history of the planet? Do you?
This is, yeah.
And
This is where to get it.
this is the thing. I have always wanted a coffee sponsor for No Simple Road. And
Here it is.
it materialized in the form of the Grateful Dead family doing amazing business for over 12 years out of Mount Shasta in the form of Northbound Coffee Roasters.
Yeah, that's dope. They're getting ready to celebrate their 13th anniversary in February.
Yeah, man. And you know what?
What?
They're celebrating their first month with No Simple Road.
Yeah.
So welcome, Northbound Coffee Roasters. Hey, everybody, go get yourself some of the best Grateful Dead family roasted coffee on the planet right now. NorthboundCoffeeRoasters.com, promo code NOSimpleRoad. Now back to Adam November.
I saw that you all played with John Medeski, or he joined in. How was
On
that? Like,
Saturday.
how awesome is that?
Unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. What can you even say about that guy? He's definitely one of, if not my favorite keyboard players on the planet. I mean, Medeski, Martin Wood, especially with Schofield, I'd call them kind of my favorite band.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just incredibly special to play with him, and he killed it. It's he
It was
so
dope.
good.
I was just
can't believe-
watching it right before.
He's different, man. That's a different
He's
kind of a
different.
human being. And I remember maybe it was like the end of 2018. Mel asked me, she was like, if you could have anybody on the show, like anybody, who would it be? And I was like, oh, definitely John Medeski. And she was like, well, just reach out to him and see what happens. So I sent this long, gushy, stupid fucking email to his publicist. Turns out we were already working with this publicist. Publicist hit me up and was like, hey, it's me, dum-dum. It's like, and within a month we had him on the show. And
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, he's like,
I'd go back and listen to it, Adam. You'd love it.
he's a trip.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
need
one.
to.
It's a good one.
But I wonder, you say that that's one of your favorite bands, right? And then,
Absolutely.
and then you have the opportunity to play with them. Is that just one of the most surreal moments ever for you? Are you just geeking out the whole time?
Unbelievably so. I mean, it's one of the most fulfilling things about playing in the scene that I play in. Where artists are so open with one another and willing to do that sort of thing. I mean, it's so who gets to play music with their idols, with their heroes,
Right?
It's-
Because I was
it's
looking
unheard of.
back through both your and Karina's Instagram, and I mean, Bonnaroo, Summer Camp, Peach Fest, Red Rocks, Nectar, on and on and on. From just meeting her in 2015 to 2023, you're playing every sought after festival or whatever. Do you look back and be like, dang, I worked hard for this? Or are you like, dang, I'm lucky? You know what I mean? Where are you? In the middle somewhere?
I'd say right in the middle. It depends on the day, but I'd say right in the middle somewhere. I err more towards lucky though, just because there's so many people who are so talented, who are working hard, that I know, that I've been in bands with or been in school with or what have you. That it could be any one of us, and sometimes it breaks one way, sometimes it breaks another way. So
Absolutely.
Totally. And it's a trip to look back on your life and see that you're living your dream, and to be like with you, there's no like air of you're not an egotistical dude from meeting you. You're just a homie, and to keep that perspective as you're taking the rise. Have you had a hard time at all with how fast things are happening, like dealing with everything that's going on?
That's a great question. The kind of secret about me is that I have a double life with a full-time job here in the city where I'm doing creative technology and working on a lot of cool stuff that I do enjoy. And this has all happened so quickly that I came out of the pandemic and kind of got the job and things started happening. And it's been, kind of a tightrope at times, especially in this last like 2 or 3 months, specifically with the tours that we just did and all that stuff to keep the train moving. And it's been extraordinarily fulfilling, but it's definitely, it's been a challenge sometimes. Absolutely.
Are you running into like, you may have to quit the other gig?
Maybe they've been super flexible and they've been as cool as one can be.
Yeah.
And kind of remains to be seen,
Right. I mean, we deal with the same thing. I work a day job too.
Yeah.
I work for a telecommunications company, and like you, they've been super rad and we're gone all the freaking time. But at some point, like, I'm going to have to make a choice,
right?
At some point. And that's scary. That's scary, man. New year, new you. What does it look like? Well, it looks like you still have all the stuff that you dragged with you from 2023. And one of the ways you can help get rid of all that stuff that you don't want dragging into the new year with you is to melt it away with our favorite sponsor, Melt
Premium Mushroom Chocolate.
Them. What Apple said. Melt Premium Mushroom Chocolates. Go to @Melt Mushrooms, MELTMUSHROOMS on Instagram.
That's right.
Shoot them a DM. Say, hey, I'm part of the No Simple Road family. They're going to shoot you their
menu.
That's right. With their 9 different flavors. You're going to make your order, and you're going to buy one, get one half off.
Yep.
For the month of January.
That's at that.
Pretty dope. So we are talking 4 grams of their premium mushroom blend, a mix of adaptogenic mushrooms as well, and 9 different flavors, all to melt all the stress and issues and whatever else. And hey, let's be real. If you just want to have a good time too, Melt is here for that too. And if you're not into chocolate, they have capsules as well.
Wow.
So
they got you covered.
They do. They have your mouth, taste bud, and brain covered with their amazing products.
A little birdie told me soon to be having gummies.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, mushroom gummies.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, go check it. See, don't say that No Simple Road doesn't take care of you. We got coffee for you. We got mushroom chocolates for you. We have clothing for you.
Dope clothing. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a whole thing over here at No Simple Road. We love you. Go to Melt Mushrooms, man.
It can be. Absolutely. I mean, it's a great problem to have. So at the end of the day, I say, oh, if these are my problems, I mean, I can't stress it.
No shit, right?
Like, what am I going to do? Oh my God. Guess I'll go, play Christmas Jam. You know what I mean? But
so tell me a little bit about playing Christmas Jam, man, besides Medeski. Like, what was that experience like?
It was fantastic. So this is my first time there. But it's such a family and community driven event in Asheville, which is one of my favorite, places to visit on tour when we do play there fairly frequently.
What is it about Asheville that's your favorite?
It just has great. It's just a cool town. What can you say? Like the people are cool. The atmosphere and the energy at the shows is always fantastic. I love the venues that we play there. We played Asheville Hall of Music a few months ago, and it was great. And it's just a beautiful place. The mountains there are fantastic. If you can get there in the spring or the fall, it's kind of just perfect. If I were not living in a big city, it would be on my short list of places that I'd be looking at.
Okay.
I'd say, but
I'm sorry, I interrupted your Christmas Jam.
Oh no, please. And it was fantastic. So we played the pre-party at the Orange Peel Friday night, and which was us, Russo, George Porter Jr., and Medeski.
Wow.
Incredible. Clutch, who I learned a lot about this week, and they fucking rock. super cool band. Karina was like obsessed with them. She's like, I'm telling you guys, you're gonna freak out about Clutch.
That's a hard rocking band right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They fucking rock, and they're like the nicest people on the planet, which is always
Aw.
just such a cool combination.
Right.
And Mule. So we're there in
What?
pretty stellar company, So it was just fantastic, and everyone was so nice, and it's just musicians hanging out, and there was a family reunion type feel to it, where people were coming. A lot of people from Asheville are working the festival, obviously, and people who've been coming back year after year, and all the musicians. Many of whom I'm huge fans of, obviously. Everyone is so cool about just talking, getting to know each other. Warren sat in with us both nights.
Oh,
so that was
fuck.
special. Yeah.
Dang.
So what can you even say about that? He sat in with us both
You really
nights.
can't say anything about all the stuff that you're talking
exactly.
about.
I'm just overwhelmed, honestly. I'm still just coming off of it. But
that's
and so that was Friday night, right? And then Saturday is the day when we play in the stadium. Right. So we play in the stadium, and we had we play in the stadium. So which means we hung out for this. The memory of the weekend for me is the sound check of Mule with Slash and Billy Gibbons. So in the middle of the day, going through all the material to be in the same room as Slash. He's probably one of my original favorite guitarists. I was pretty obsessed with Guns N' Roses. I was maybe 12, 13 or so.
And you got to hang.
I didn't get the hang, but he was around.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We were in the team photo together. That's
good enough, man.
I'll take it.
And I got to watch the sound check and be within 20 feet of him for a while. So that was pretty cool. Not to fanboy too much, but so that was super cool. We played our set. We had Medeski and Warren sit in on back-to-back songs. In a 35-minute set, so it was like this crazy sprint of a set, half of which we had these legendary musicians sitting in front of a packed house, because everyone, I think they're really
congratulations.
They kind of keep the lineup under wraps a little bit, or keep the order under wraps, and so it's a surprise to all the fans, and everyone, the house is full of music lovers, so everyone's there for the whole thing. And we played in between Clutch and Jason Bonham's Zeppelin Experience. So,
oh my gosh. So it was packed. Yeah. Wow.
It was packed. You can't complain about any of that, It was really wonderful. Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay, let's rewind just a little bit. Like, when was your intro to music?
I started playing guitar when I was 9 or 10. My mom is super into music. She was always playing Beatles, Rolling Stones, Neil Young, Paul Simon, James Taylor, etc.
Yes.
She had a guitar around, and I picked it up, and she showed me a few things, and I started taking lessons thereafter, and played through middle school, and then in high school really got into it more deeply and start to kind of identify as a musician, as a guitar player. Again, was really into classic rock. Was getting into jammier music, Dave Matthews, a little bit of Fish, some other stuff. And then towards late high school. And so in high school, I was in bands. I was doing the songwriter thing for a while. I had kind of like a Jason Mraz type phase at some point.
Nice.
When I was,
I love Jason
16.
Mraz.
He's an incredible songwriter and singer.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then I was in like indie rock bands mostly. And then in college, I went to NYU, studied music technology. Sorry, I'm just going for the full.
No, go for it, man.
This is it. Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah.
Went to NYU, studied music technology, which had me doing, and then was playing guitar with all sorts of people in indie rock bands. I was in kind of like an electronic funk project. I was starting to play with some, hip hop producers and stuff like that. Backing up songwriters, really trying to just play with as many people as possible. And then in school, I was learning about electronics and synthesizers and music production and how to record music and how the gear worked and how to fix things and all this kind of stuff. And so that was all coming together,
Yeah.
And so when I graduated, I was playing in a couple bands, but mostly with this hip hop group called Oxymorons. And they were kind of the first band that I got to tour with and see the country with. We did a couple national tours, opening for some folks, which was really fun. And then I was still playing with them when I met Karina. And Karina just kind of slowly, and at the time, Karina was playing with Marco. Chris, our drummer, went to college with me. We're a long time friends and have played in some other bands. He was playing in a bunch of bands, and Karina was playing with Marco, and I was playing with these guys. So Karina's project was kind of like the side project for all of us at first, and then it slowly rolled and the snowball picked up. And then I'd say just before and over the pandemic, Karina really doubled down on herself as an artist and put the pedal to the floor.
And look at the payoff.
Look at what's going on.
And the rest is really history on that
one. It really is, man. Like, that is such a, first of all, congratulations. That's a lot of really cool shit that you've got under your belt. And are you 30 yet? Are you under 30?
I just turned 30 in September. Yeah.
So, that's pretty incredible. Like, for real.
Thank you so much.
30 years old, and you realize that you're living your dream. I wonder, right?
A good place to be. Yeah, thank you. It's tough. And when you're in it, you don't always get to step back and see it for what it's worth either. So
no,
I think you're not supposed to. It's just like you can't look at your back, or you can't see your own face. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things that are off limits to us.
Can't lick your elbow.
Yeah, like, well, maybe some people can. I don't know. But yeah, like, it's just kind of it's a really cool realization to have, like, those moments where you can literally look back and be like, yeah, like, I've loved John Medeski. I played with him. Like, what? I was in a photo with Slash listening to him. What? I'm touring with my band now. Like, this is Karina Rykman. That's your band. You guys are in that band, like, doing your own thing. Like, I wonder, you gave us your whole history. At what point, maybe it was in high school, maybe earlier, did you know you're like, oh, I'm going toward music?
It was definitely in high school at some point. That's when I really, again, was identifying as someone who played guitar, and I knew that it was going to be an important part of my life and my personality and, my dreams.
The day job is like doing automations and stuff like that.
It's doing a bunch of stuff. We're a creative tech agency, and we do kind of whatever projects we land. We have stuff in theme parks. We just did this big immersive thing for Netflix in LA.
Are you talking like pneumatics and stuff like that?
Sometimes pneumatics. We do. It's a whole mess of stuff. Like,
okay, take us through one project.
We have a bunch of stuff up in like Super Nintendo World in Hollywood and in Japan. Specifically there. Well, I can't say there's something I can't say too much about, but we do all sorts of things with installations and creative technology. I'm kind of the electronics and the hardware guy, so I build a lot of custom electronics. I program them to talk to our applications and talk to other pieces of hardware and work with lights and projectors and LED screens and all this kind of business.
So that helps put the pieces together for me, because watching you on stage, I couldn't, like I said, the first time I saw you, I was like, what the hell is going on? How did you develop what you do up there? Because you're not just a guitar player. You're not. Yeah. You're doing
and then
a lot of other shit while you're playing.
Yeah. I mean, it really started to come together late in college and just after college. So in college, I studied music tech, and we took these electronics courses, and one of them, we called it Electronics 2, aka digital electronics, which is how to build circuits that you can program to do stuff. And this class, and one that came after it called multimedia installation and performance, really opened the door to me, because I learned how to make MIDI controllers, and which, for those who might not have, put hands on, a MIDI controller is kind of the standard device that will communicate to a computer in music production or in music performance. And so this kind of opened up doors to me. And I also learned other things about music electronics and how to build some simple pedals and things like that. But I got really into building electronics and building circuits and devices, and ones that I could program to interact with other things. And kind of at the same time, the guitar pedal market and ecosystem was going in a direction of devices that could, where people were performing with devices that are running DAWs on stage, that are running Ableton on stage, or
Right.
that are, have sophisticated digital multi effects that can talk to computers, that can talk to other devices. So I was really just deep in experimenting with all this stuff, with loopers and with running Ableton with my pedals, and with having a bunch of loopers stacked, or with putting, piezo mics onto weird bongos and other drums and seeing what that would sound like, and doing all this kind of stuff right when I met Karina. And, it just, when we started playing, when we were a band, the first 2 years of us being a band, we really only played improvised music. We would play after parties at New Blue, for Fish or other similar types of events, and we would literally just improvise for 90 minutes to 2 hours.
So you're like practicing, basically.
Exactly. So this whole world was kind of coming together at that time for me, and it was kind of the perfect platform to develop all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then right when I was saying, 2019, we started writing songs, and I had kind of took the sound in a slightly different direction, but I had developed all the stuff to a point where I could integrate it into, other kinds of music, and where I could control it so it wasn't quite as chaotic as it used to be, maybe.
Yeah, I would think that it'd be a dumb question. I was thinking it while you're talking, but is it hard to recreate what you do?
Definitely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I've always, approached music from a place of performance. I love improvising. Honestly, the idea of learning parts to a song still kind of irks me for the most part, but I do it, but sometimes begrudgingly. But there's definitely an aspect to when I'm playing live where two performances are never going to be the same, because I'm twisting knobs and, have things that are not, laid out in concrete steps for myself, where there's, gray zones between whether things are on or off, or how much delay I'm using, or how much, my loop is dialed in, or this, that, the other thing.
That's so cool. Because, in a regular day job or something like that, there's a lot of repetition in that. You have to, it's a job. So you're hired for that specific thing. And it means that you're going to be doing that same thing. Of course, there may be, things here and there that come up, but I would imagine that it really continues to stimulate your mind doing what you're doing, especially you're in tech also, but having to do things, you're playing the same song, but definitely not the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's exciting because it allows things to change over time, on a macro scale. So songs take on different movements over time, or over the course of a tour or several years, because one of us will, and you don't need to have a crazy amount of tech that you play with to experience this, obviously. But there's so many variables that can go into how something is going to come out. And it's exciting to see, the performances change over time, and see the role that, the things that I build can impact that, or if I can be pushed to build something new because I want to chase an effect that I'm hearing. That's that's the sweet spot, right?
That's awesome.
And it seems like at least in my limited view, the tech is just expanding and expanding and expanding in what you can do, and then at the same time, people are wanting that analog sound too at the same time, man. With
absolutely,
it's okay, let's make up our minds where we want to go. That guy, Analog Mike Pereira. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, Analog Man. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
totally. Everybody's jonesing for that guy's pedals. It's
his stuff's incredible. It's one of the gold standards, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and that's kind of up to every artist to decide.
Yeah.
Right.
There are incredible guitar players that I love that do with very minimal effects or processing.
It's true. I've watching Fish, I've thought to myself, he's such a talented guitar player, but at the same time, he's just as talented at knowing how to deftly use effects as he is at playing, which to me is a whole other instrument in and of itself too, right?
Absolutely. You have to exercise. I mean, because you can tell when someone's, overdoing it. It's probably me sometimes, but
but isn't that don't you kind of want to overdo it? Not like that be your standard, but you want to like jump
Push
off
it.
the edge and twist and somersault, right?
Exactly.
You don't just want to
No,
land.
That's my style. Exactly. That's my choice.
Exactly.
And a lot of it, how I got here is just being inspired by musicians who aren't guitarists. I mean, it's one that sticks out to me is watching interviews with Tom Morello when I was in high school, talking about how he was inspired by Dr. Dre and, all these hip hop producers. And that's how he got into making all of his sounds that he's famous for. And, being inspired by musicians like Fortet's a big one for me, electronic producer who has just incredible sound design. So many others. Flying Lotus, huge inspiration to me.
Mel was bringing up earlier, like these landmark shows that you guys have played, like Christmas Jam and Red Rocks and stuff like that. Is there a moment for you when you're on stage doing that where let me think of a better way to ask this question. I'm going to backtrack. So we just did our first like live podcast here in Portland, right? Ever. And,
awesome.
And there was a moment that I was up there, I was like, holy shit, like these people actually came here to see us. You know what I mean? Like it was weird, a weird feeling.
Yeah.
When you're at Red Rocks and you're standing on that stage and you're in the middle of the show, you ever have that thought like, holy shit, these people are here to see us?
Hopefully not while you're playing.
Oh, definitely while I'm playing. Well, my thing sometimes, as I mentioned, I have a lot of different things to kind of keep track of while I'm playing sometimes. So I remember this happening distinctly at Red Rocks where I was lost in my world. And then I, kind of looked up for a second. I was like, holy shit, I'm at Red Rocks. Like I'm playing a show, And that happens honestly all the time. But that was a particularly, poignant version of that.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't even imagine walking out on that stage, dude. Like just being in the crowd at that place is insane.
It's magic anywhere you stand when you're in that, like when you're in Red Rocks. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So Adam, what do you think like birthed in you the love for technology like this?
That's a great question. I don't know. I would say it started, I think, with me learning how to fix things because I break so much stuff.
Okay, that's
out
fair.
of necessity.
I've always loved building things. And then I think I saw technology as a way to kind of combine building things with making art in a way. When I learned that I could use technology as a tool to enhance, my creative abilities, that really sold me on it. I mean, I learned, I'm a pretty decent programmer. I learned how to program in college, and I really got into that because I could do visuals with it. I learned originally, I was like, oh, I can like build fractals and particle systems and stuff like that with code. That's so cool. And then at the same time, I was learning how to do that with hardware. And finally got it to, make its way into my music performance practice. But just it always stuck. Yeah, I don't really know when it started. My high school had a really good music program with a music technology class where I was learning Reason and GarageBand and stuff like that. It wasn't explicitly that technical, but it was, fairly technical from that point. So that at least birthed in me that you could use technology to make art.
Because usually those things are opposite, right? Like you've got a techie mindset or you're creative, but that's not always the case.
Coders are a different breed, though.
It's tough to say. I mean, I think to me it always made sense, but
it was like you said, an extension or something that helped you figure out how to do what you were.
Science is inherently creative. If you're trying to invent things, if you're trying to develop things, you're not going to get anywhere if you can't have original ideas and combine ideas from other disciplines and this whole kind of thing. So
and coding, learning to code and turn computer code into visual effects and sound and circuits and APIs and all that stuff. Like you have to have an inherently creative mind to be able to even conceive of the idea of what you want to tell the code to do in the first place. So
Yeah.
Coders are a very special. They're painting with words. It's the craziest, coolest shit, and that's that in and of itself is an art form as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely,
look
yeah.
around us. The world that we're in right now is filled with the art of code. You know what I mean? Like the whole conversation around AI and that's going on right now is all because of somebody coding that shit into some neural engine somewhere. That's
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so let's digress a little bit. How do you feel? How do
really?
you feel? Yeah, how do you feel about AI?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, like in your, because you've got your music, you've got your tech, you're like 30 years old. I feel like you're in the perfect era for this. Like, what do you think about it?
I think it's going to be highly impactful. I think and it remains to be seen, if for good or for evil, so to speak. But, I don't love our track record. I think it's going to do a lot of great things and a lot of terrible things, honestly.
Yes.
Kind of going to be up to, us and other people, to figure out how we navigate all that. I think it's kind of like the central question of our time is how do we coexist with technology, AI specifically, but more generally, I mean, just looking at phones and social media, blah, 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 but
I love what he said though. He's like, I don't love our track record. No. We as a species don't make the best decisions for ourselves. So there's a lot.
Hold on. Okay.
There's a lot of conversation going on around AI and its effect on humanity.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's consciousness? Do you think that it's conscious?
So I think that
you don't have a right or wrong answer, Adam. So just know that.
Yeah, no, of course.
I got an opinion on this. That's why I'm asking.
I'd go with no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not yet.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so.
Have you used it in your music at all?
In music, not really.
Okay.
I use it. I use ChatGPT for other things, for work or for other, projects and whatnot. But I haven't used it in music yet. I'm not particularly inclined to. But we'll see what
happens.
Yeah, right.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know if it's cool. I'll probably use it. Maybe.
I saw a video of the ChatGPT writing fiddle tunes. So they were like, write me a fiddle tune in the style of Doc Watson in such and such year, and it spits out tabs just like that. And it was bomb shit too. It was like, oh no,
it's probably perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's probably perfect. Yeah.
We're barreling headlong into the future for good or ill, and this stuff is all here. And I think what it comes down to is like he said, it's up to us.
It's the user.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a tool like anything else, so anything could happen, really.
Well, I would agree with it's just a tool, but it is not like anything else. This is very trippy and weird and futuristic and sci-fi and otherworldly and all of it,
Yeah, things have definitely, and just the amount that it's accelerated in the last 2 years or so has really been, I think, shocking for everyone.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it yourself with just like from 2019 to now, how fast things have gone. That had nothing to do with AI. It just seems as if a lot of things are evolving at a rapid pace in these last few years. And then God knows what AI can do to speed that up as well.
What's up, everybody? If you're like me and you're trying to do better for yourself and what you eat in this new year, I have something really cool for you. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day way easier. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. You're going to have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. What are you waiting for? Sign up and save. They've done done all the math, Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. So here's what you got to do. Head to factormeals.com/NoSimpleRoad50 and use the code NoSimpleRoad50 to get 50% off your first box and 2 free wellness shots per box while subscription is active. That's code NoSimpleRoad50 at factormeals.com. Take all the guesswork out of trying to do the right thing for your body. Fuel up easy and fast. Go check out Factor.
Totally. I mean, it's, if you want to get super technical, I mean, AI has been embedded into services and products that you use for, probably close to a decade or more now in some form or another. Like, your news feeds are generated, by algorithms that resemble AI. Mm-hmm. Your, the way all of it's been influencing us, I would say. But now the tools have been kind of open to the public, so to speak, so that the laymen can kind of take their turn with it.
Yeah,
but
when I can grab it and go,
that there's even crazier stuff being developed behind the scenes that you're not seeing yet. So
when I can grab it and go, hey, create me a logo for No Simple Road using a phoenix and a road, and it goes okay, and spits out like 50 ideas that are better than I could have ever thought. I'm like, oh no.
I mean, it could, I don't know, with no judgment on what your ideas might be, it could definitely do that right now. There's no question.
Oh yeah. I just did it the other day. I totally just did it the other day. It's like, okay, great. Well, there goes that,
So what do you see your, of course this is all just talk,
conjecture.
But what do you see your future being? You're at this awesome trajectory right at this moment. What would you like to see happen, or what do you see happening for yourself in your career?
That's a really great question as well. I'm just trying to enjoy the ride and savor it at this point. I mean, it's impossible. It's gone so much further than I would have ever guessed already. So it just seems so difficult to speculate. I think it's about trying to reach a place where, it'd be great to not, need another job, to get out of there, and to be just continuing onward and upward and playing more and bigger shows. And, I do have, there's some cool, I think cool creative tech and personal artistic, tech and art projects that I'd love to try to get off the ground. There's some pedals that I've built that I'm maybe trying to sell and things like that. So those, if I can take the music performance and kind of incorporate some other tech art side to it, that's something I'd love to look into.
It's coming, man. Adam,
that's cool.
I know that it's hard to see stuff when you're on the inside of it, brother. I really do. It's like Mel said, maybe you're not supposed to.
You're not.
But I'll tell you straight up, it's coming, man.
Thank you. I have a tough time putting into words exactly what it is.
I getting
it across somehow.
just
the question was meant for that.
Yeah, you're not
just to get the wheels turning,
Adam November's not going to be working 2 jobs in a couple of years. I tell you straight up that it's
well,
not
maybe
happening.
you are, but it's your choice.
Yeah.
Like in your own creative output.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I'm working towards it. So
yeah, man. It shows. It definitely shows.
You guys all 3 of you are working your tails off. What a joyride it's been.
Exactly. That's the joy. Yeah. It's been a crazy year in a stream of 3 crazy years, Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's do this. Top 3 moments of the last year. I won't even say these last past years because there's 3. a lot, but this last year.
Let's see. We played in Iceland with the Disco Biscuits in May at a venue called Harpa, which is basically, the most prestigious concert hall in Reykjavik. So that one stands out immediately. That was really extraordinary.
Wow.
What else? Bar Peach Fest set this summer, main stage, probably about 4 p.m. ish or so.
Oh my gosh, what a great time.
Slot. Yeah, on the Saturday. That was really, really special. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe 3 o'clock. I forget what time it was. But
it doesn't matter. That's great.
It felt like 8 p.m. to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, Christmas jam this past week. That's, how do you beat
That didn't
Warren and the
suck.
Jets,
Yeah.
double header.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, I'm probably leaving some stuff out, but
No,
that's
you're supposed to. That's pretty dang good, man. Like if those are your top 3 and you're leaving stuff out, come on, man.
So, all this stuff that you're talking about, everything going so fast, you start going on the road. Do you dig being on the road?
I love being on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so much fun. I mean, you guys were hanging out with us in Portland, but we have so much fun on the road. Like, you guys don't understand. We were just laughing and doing bits the entire time, listening to music, listening to our favorite stupid YouTube videos, just doing dumb impressions. Like
quality
it is so
time.
much fun all the time. Like, we're laughing at every moment,
Your green room, like that night, the vibe in the green room was so fun because I've been backstage in places where you're like, whoa, this is weird back here. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You guys were totally having a blast the whole time. And I could see how hanging out with Karina all the time would be like nonstop fun zone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Energizer Bunny.
The most consistent positive energy.
Right on, man.
That you can imagine. Yeah.
That's so cool that's like that fell upon your lap. You know what I mean? That you and
you
had
your apartment building.
And you had to cultivate.
Kidding,
yeah. Literally. I mean, clearly you've cultivated the relationship and all of that stuff, but like that, I feel like certain things are supposed to happen to us, you know what I mean? And certain things like that, like whether you're working hard or you're lucky or whatever, that happened. She walked into your friggin' apartment building and next thing you know, you're playing up in your apartment that you just happened to have all the cool shit out.
Right.
Like,
yeah. No, it's not lost on me because, going to music school in New York City, I've met, many people. It's like, oh, we should totally jam sometime. Oh yeah, totally. We'll get together and we'll play. And 99% of the time it doesn't happen.
Right.
But this is the time when it happened and it, really happened.
That's called lightning striking, man.
Wow.
Did you have, I guess there's no way you could have known, but did you have like an immediate musical connection?
I'd say so. It was a good jam, It wasn't.
Okay.
We were like thinking back on that point. We were such like infantile musicians. I feel like compared to where we both are now, honestly.
Sure.
So it's hard to believe I could have had a musical connection with anyone at the time. So,
well, but there was something, right? Like
totally
a tiny
we were
spark.
like, this is great. Like, let's do this more. We just had so much music that we loved in common, and it did. And we were just having fun, honestly, more than the musical connection. I feel like we were just having a good time. Like we were joking around and we were playing. The playing sounded good, and yeah,
but
it was free.
It was that's the best shit. And
literally playing.
Yeah.
Like playing. Yeah.
With everything going on, and you seem like the most grounded dude, like just chill, like I said. For anybody that's coming up behind you that is finding a measure of success, what advice would you give them on like how to stay grounded as the success is happening to you? And you're allowed to think on it. I'll
totally.
riff for a minute.
I mean, you really just have to love it and find what you love about this whole process of music making and artistry, and really double down on the parts of it that you love, I think.
Right. That makes sense.
Because there's so many different facets and components to this, and you'll get lost, I think, if you try to do everything, so to speak. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say.
No,
but
that makes
find
sense.
The things you love about it and double down on that, because honestly, there's no room. It's not worth it if you don't love it. You know what I mean? Like you need to love it. So worry about that
doesn't
first.
seem like you could literally do what you're doing day after day, night after night for an hour or two, possibly 3 on stage, and you don't love it. Like it just doesn't seem like you could have the energy for that, or that it would be worth it.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you need to love it, and you need to, it sounds cliche, but you need to be, a person that people want to work with and that people want to hang out with, because if you're on the road, you're only playing music for 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day, maybe, but the rest of the time you're with your people and you have to get from point A to point B. And there's lots of other moving parts in the situation. And just going back to Karina and I meeting on that night and starting to play music together, you have to be a person that people want to work with. So
Yeah.
If you're a dick after the show, nobody wants to hang out with you. You're not getting the gig, man. I mean, kind of what I'm getting at is also the side of it of like, you start meeting your heroes and you're sharing stages with them, or like this, getting to talk to them. And it's kind of been a theme of the conversation. Like if you step outside of it, I look at what's going on with us sometimes, and I'm like in utter disbelief that any of it is happening at all. And I've had people say to us, oh, congratulations, man, you guys are blowing up or whatever. And I'm like, dude, perception from the outside is so much different than perception from the inside. They are two completely different things,
isn't it?
right? And like whatever you're seeing on Instagram and making up in your head is not what's actually going on. And that's kind of how I've like kept my feet on the ground through all of this, is like knowing that the perception that people have is not the reality of what's going on. Like I fucking watched my grandson all day today and worked and cooked lunch. Like that's what I did for real. I wasn't like hanging out on stages or anything like that. And
right. I mean, I think part of that being grounded too, when you start to meet your heroes, you learn how normal a lot of them are,
Yeah.
they're just people, and they're talking about what they had for lunch or, whatever. It's not, there's nothing crazy about it. And then there's Slash, but then, most
that's
people.
different. That's totally different.
He's a rock star, and that's a whole different story.
He doesn't even walk. He floats.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's something that we figured out like really, really quick in having these conversations. Like I can remember talking to Oteil and like being terrified. It was the first time we'd done an interview and I was so scared, and I'd never done an interview before. And now I'm talking to Oteil and like, oh shit. And like maybe 5 or 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, this is a dude.
He's just so easy too. Like specifically Oteil, like chill, and then his name next to the dictionary. Like he's just got such amazing vibe, and no matter if you're a musician, just a person, he's accepting, and that's what's amazing about somebody like Oteil.
Yeah.
Having the opportunity to get to talk to them and like you said, we realized really quick, oh, these are just people and they happen to be super talented at doing whatever, playing the bass or the keyboard. And it really did change the game of like going to the shows too. It was like, oh shit, these people are dope, and I'm rooting for them 10,000 times more now. And even through like all the successes and stuff with me, I wonder if you're like this, like I'll think of something that I want to do with NSR, and then it happens. As soon as it's over, I'm like, okay, that was cool. Now let's do the next whatever, right? Is there something for you that you, like a room that you haven't played yet, or something that you're like is on your hit list that you're looking forward to?
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
Like what?
I mean, a big one for me, I'd love to play Terminal 5 in New York City.
Okay.
Just because that's the venue where I would go to see a lot of my first shows when I grew up, an hour and change north of the city. So when I was 15 or 16 and I could like go into the city by myself and see shows, it would often be there.
Okay.
So that'll be special.
Your stomping ground.
Yeah.
What is it about New York City, man? What
it never sleeps. I mean,
Can
you
you
know?
Yeah.
But
explain
that right
explain
there.
it a little bit for somebody that's never been there before?
it's so, I mean, talk about being inside of it and not being able to see it from afar. I was born here and I grew up just north of here. And then I, lived in the city since college, about almost 15 years, probably not 15 years, like 13, 12 years. So I've never even been outside of it for that long.
Wow.
But
Wow. Even with all that travel, you never thought to move to Houston or Maine or, you know what I mean?
this is going to sound super, jaded or something. But once you live in New York City, the idea of, and if you're doing something like music
Yes.
or technology for that matter, where you're like around people and it's all just happening here, especially with music and art, it's all just happening here. And, the idea of going to a place where it isn't, and it just doesn't feel right,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Do know.
There's a
you're where you're supposed to be.
Well, there's a definite there's a very unique kind of thing going on in New York City. There's an energy there that is not anywhere else.
Yeah.
I had never been there before. Mel took me in 2021 to go see Fish at MSG, and I was like, I'm kind of like I don't dig being around like large crowds of people, believe it or not. Like I get social anxiety sometimes, and I was like, I hope I'm not like freaked out in New York. And we got off the train at Penn Station, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is awesome. I walked down the street, I was like, whoa, this is the coolest shit ever. There's like every accent and language and clothing style and everything all happening at once, and it's like pouring down on you all the time.
Yeah, that's better than I could have possibly put it. It just feels like it's all happening here.
Right.
Whatever you want, you can get it. Whatever you want to see or listen to, or whoever you want to, it's all happening.
Right.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you're too close to it, it's hard to take yourself out to explain it. You're like, I mean, I was born in New York, so I know about the energy. I know that I'm definitely a West Coast girl for sure. I love the West Coast, but I love the fact that I was born in New York and I have that in me. I understand what it means. I know why people walk fast. I know how to watch my back. I know the things. And so to see somebody new coming in that never, because he had like all these preconceived notions about New York, like I'm not going to like it. It's going to be weird. And I'm like, I said very minimal. I'm like, no, you'll just see. And yeah, like people fall in love with New York. There's something about it. It's like the hot chick or something. It's just like everybody. Yeah. It's like,
I mean, it's a tough place. There's something, concretely gritty and tough about it that you have to like, and you have to be into the pace of it and kind of the impersonalness of it sometimes. But if you have your people and you have your stomping grounds, you have your way of doing things, it's perfect because you can get anything you need.
It's crazy. Like I remember walking and seeing the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life, and a guy shooting dope, and a prostitute, and like the best bagel shop in the whole wide world, all within like 100 yards. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Where else can you see that? Exactly.
No. Yeah, it's great, man.
In fact, before we went to New York, he had asked Karina, because we had her on the podcast.
Oh, about the pizza.
Yeah, and he's like, where should I go for pizza?
Yeah.
She said Tony's.
Did tell you Joe's?
Joe's.
Oh, Joe's. Yeah, sorry, not Tony's. Joe's,
and we walked from MSG high as kites after the show to Joe's to go get pizza, and it's pretty amazing. It was a hell of a night. I think that living somewhere like that, it creates a certain kind of a hunger to go after shit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that too?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because so many people here are trying to get to that place, whatever that place is. So you're constantly inspired by the people around you and you're constantly being pushed. It's a competitive place. I mean, especially I feel like when I was in college and I was playing in different bands and seeing, oh, who's getting this gig, who's getting that gig, music's not a competition, of course, but it's easy for it to feel like it sometimes when you're just surrounded by people who are hungry and trying to get to that place.
Well, and that can be so
which
motivating.
can be epic. It's super motivating. Yeah. And you need that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Well, I would
sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
well, like,
no. It can be motivating or not. Like if you are the kind of person,
on your mindset. It depends on your mindset.
That's like, oh, well, they got the gig and I didn't. Well, fuck it. You know what I mean? That can do you in.
Well, but it'll test your not just your resilience, but like what you really want to do. Because if seeing Adam is going to distract you or deter you from playing guitar, and that's all you ever did, then you really didn't want to do that.
Wow.
Right. Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody can stop you from your dream just by being good, then that's not your dream.
I do think it plays a part in what pushed me to, incorporate electronics into my setup and to build my own gear and build my own sounds, because I knew if I was doing that, then I would at least have a leg up on other players in some regard, or at least I'd be doing something different. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be the best like guitar player in New York City, but I can do something that's different and unique.
You're going to be the best and only Adam November.
Exactly. That's, that can get you somewhere sometimes.
Yes,
it's got you a lot of places, man. Oh, Adam, thank you, man, for what a great history at your 30-year history. You brought us up to speed. You shared so much awesome stuff, and it's kind of the beginning, right? Like, wouldn't you say that?
Feels like it to me. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And kudos to you, man. Like, it's really cool to have met you and now to like meet you again. You know what I mean? Like, face to face, but then like really get to know you and like, yeah, man, you guys are rocking. And I just love what all of you all are doing, and what a great combination, what great chemistry. And thanks, man. Thank you for what you're doing.
Well, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so great.
You said that you did another podcast. What was the other podcast? Was it Karina's?
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was his name is Danny Siegel. He's a very nice guy, has just kind of a small podcast. I met him after a show in New Jersey 2 months ago. Shout out Danny Siegel.
Right on, Danny Siegel.
I remember this story. Aaron and Apple were outside.
On my first podcast. Yeah, exactly.
How dare you, Karina? How dare
we said that.
Right. Yeah, you guys are different.
Yeah. Have Adam on, man. What the fuck? It's cold-blooded.
She's too busy, okay? She's got a band. She's touring. She's playing Christmas Jam, man. She's busy.
All right, Adam, before we go, what one band that's out right now are you stoked on? Or listening to a lot?
Wow, why did that catch me so off guard? Really shouldn't be that hard of a question.
So for while you're thinking, for me, I've been listening to a lot of King Gizzard lately.
Right.
Okay. So Mel,
they're amazing. Yeah.
Mel.
Ooh, what have I been listening to? No, well, I do love Doug Short. I'm not going to lie. But, well, you know what it is? For me, I listen to a lot of the people that we just have had on because I like to, it's like doing research before, right? Then you talk to them. Then you want to hear it again. So I've been listening to Caleb Lee Hutchinson. He just he's got a new CD out called Southern Galactic. And he's dope, man. He's killing it. He lives in Nashville. He was on American Idol, and he's got some he's cool. And I so like when we have people on, I try to, patronize their music and like listen to them so I can just get pumped up about it again. So that's what I've been listening to lately.
To make the question easier, sometimes I'll say like, when you get in the car, what are you listening to? But you live in New York City, so you're probably not driving around too much.
Or he's in Brooklyn.
Not too much. Yeah. I mean, I definitely, I feel like I'm in a rut of like listening to just like recycled stuff that I always listen to. But like one album that I always listen to is Mad Villainy, MF Doom and Madlib.
Yeah.
Top record. That's like an unconscious, I'll just put that on if I need some music to listen
Comfort
to.
music.
Isn't that crazy how you
Exactly.
can be you are part of music, but then you kind of get like you said, kind of tired of the same stuff, or you keep listening to the same favorites, And
Yeah.
one thing that's really brought me a lot of joy is doing the show, because we get to find out about we're forced to. We're forced to, and that is one of the coolest things, because I know what you mean. I mean, sometimes I drive home from work a different way, and I live 7 minutes from my job. You know what I mean? Like, just I need to spice it up, and so I totally get that. Like, it's just kind of a neat thing to be able to have new music that's good at your fingertips.
I got one for you, Adam.
Please.
That you
I need some recommendations.
Yeah, I got one for you.
You asked me what I'm listening to, and I crumbled.
There's a band out of.
That's the only time you did, though. It's all good.
There's a band out of Texas, and they're called Leon the Third.
Oh,
It's Leon and then I, right? Leon the Third, and there's 2 albums of theirs that Antlers and Velvet, and then the new album is Something's Trying to Change My Mind. And if you listen to Antlers and Velvet first, and then Something's Trying to Change My Mind, and you would be hard pressed to tell me that that's not one album. It's a continuation, the new one.
They made it in 2 parts. You're suggesting.
Yep. And if Pink Floyd was born in Texas, and Radiohead was the father, and what's the guy's name from Flaming Lips? Wayne Coyne was the nanny of that baby, it would be Leon the Third.
That sounds sick.
It's some dope shit. So after you listen to it, let me know what you thought.
I will.
And The Wheel. Listen to The Wheel.
Yeah,
That's
The Wheel's
another
good
one.
too.
That's a good one too, man.
Yep. Avram Brown.
Avram. Yeah, Avram Brown. I think he's from back east too.
Yep. He lives.
I heard someone else mention his name recently.
He's
I
dope.
gotta check it.
Yeah, he's dope. His project is The Wheel. It's amazing. You know what to do.
Yeah.
I'll find it.
All right, man.
Also, I wanted to say this because the very last thing. Dang, you look like Post Malone.
It's too bad this is just an audio podcast, I think, for most folks. But I have a history of going as Post Malone for Halloween, especially before he had his face tats.
Oh my gosh.
I used to get stopped, pretty frequently.
You should just roll with it.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any photos anywhere of your Post Malone? Like,
give me like 30 seconds. I can pull one up here.
Now that you said I can't unsee it.
The whole time I wasn't going to be rude and throw it out at the very beginning. Like, oh, you look like, no, I wanted to hear you, but like, I had like, dang. Hell yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh,
Fuck,
Adam,
dude.
that is dope.
Wow.
I love it. I love every second of it.
Well
This
done.
is probably right around when I met Karina too. This is the same time.
Right on, man.
It's because of that picture that all of this shit happened.
Exactly.
Adam, you've got a great smile. You've got a great attitude. You really set yourself apart. And I'm glad that we did this, man.
Right on, bro.
I'm so glad to this. Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right, man.
Right on. We'll let you know when it comes out.
Please do.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon,
Be on
man.
the lookout.
Be safe out
Yes,
there.
Adam. Right on.
Later.
Guys. See you soon.
Wow.
Aw.
That's a Grammy aw.
Aw. Cute.
You know, I love when awesome shit happens to cool people.
Yes.
That, like, the world is a crazy, mixed up, violent, scary, weird place. And then stuff like that happens. And I'm like, maybe everything's going to be okay.
It's the checks and balances. As ugly and gross as people and the world can be, is as beautiful and sweet as people and the world can be.
People like Adam with that kind of light in their eyes
I
and
know,
that,
and that smile.
deserve to have all the good shit happen to them.
Well, it's happening.
Yeah, man. That's cool. And what an incredibly talented dude.
What
too.
a good score, Karina.
Yeah,
right
good job,
on.
Karina. I didn't say this to him, but as far as I'm concerned, he has created an entire new instrument.
He
In-
has.
it's because it's not just his guitar. If like for you listening, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube and pull up any performance by Karina Rykman and her band, and you'll see what Adam does on stage, and it's completely unique. He's not at a pedal board. He's got, I don't even know, probably something he created on a stand, and he's playing that at the same time he's playing his guitar, basically. I mean, I know that it's probably loopers and delay and effects and whatnot, but it's way different than what you see Trey or Bobby or whoever doing. It's a new thing. And so the sound that's coming from his guitar is completely different than anybody else. So I know that that's what he was setting out to do. He definitely achieved his goal of creating something unique and different.
Being from New York, like we were just talking about, and having that kind of drive and going to NYU for music, like he's literally in the hub of everything. And to be able to stand out truly, not like, I can't think of anybody he plays like.
No, there's,
you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he's one of millions
he plays like Adam.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of millions of guitarists, but he's his own thing. And I think that an environment for some people, New York is just that kind of environment that competition or that hunger will create, and like it did for him, like he said, it made him create something to stand out, and that's awesome.
Wow, that's a trip. That, like, the pace and like population and all of it, the energy of New York City is forcing creation.
It's also forcing betterment. It's forcing creation. It's forcing betterment, and it's like reaching like new heights.
Innovation.
Innovation. Thank you. Yes, innovate. Yes.
Yeah, it's making people innovate, because if you do something like everybody else, there's 100,000 of those somebody else's that do the same thing you do. You've got to figure out something to set yourself apart.
And it's got to be natural, because you don't want to be phony about it too. Like, he took two of his loves and merged them together and created a completely unique sound within something that is not that unique. That's wild. That's wild. It is wild.
I love it. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. If Karina Rykman comes through her town with her band, you are going to be
her town or yours
stunned by what you see. You need to go check it out. Go to their Instagram and see what the tour looks like, because she's hardworking. And
yeah, she is.
Adam is.
They all are
busting his ass right alongside her, and you don't want to miss that when they come through your town. And yeah, we're gonna go play with our grandson now.
That's
I think, right.
Yeah, we are.
Is that what we're gonna do?
That's what we're doing. Put out the ornaments.
Yeah, we're gonna decorate the tree. All right, everybody. We'll see you on Monday with another edition of the No Simple Road Weekly Rewind. Remember to hit up Shop Tour Bus and our Patreon and our website, and melt premium mushroom chocolates and Fire on the Mountain and all the good NSR sponsor shit. And we'll see you on Monday. We love y'all.
Love you.
Take care of each other. Smile as strangers. Safety third. Hydrate. Peace.
Peace.
Mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we make think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey, what's up? This is Blake Weiland. I'm the host of the Tone Mob podcast. It's a show where I interview guitar people about guitar stuff. We talk about their pedals, their amps, their accessories, their preferences, all that stuff, as well as a healthy dose of whatever comes up. Topics have ranged from aliens to addiction and anywhere in between. Oh yeah, and pizza. We're definitely going to be talking about pizza. So get the show wherever you're listening to this podcast at. Just search The Tone Mob in your search bar and it will pop right up. Come join us. We're having a lot of fun. Thanks for checking it out.